Some of your 135 contemporaries have a lot to say these days. Shakur Stevenson, well, of course, he's now at 135 after all that stuff, and then Devin Haney.
Right. So why people even talk like he the best at? He didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126. I mean 126, 30 or none of that.
He is good.
Okay. How can you? All that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you gonna get hit. What you gonna do when you get hit? How you gonna keep me off you and you ain't got no power? Let's talk about that. How you gonna keep me off you if you ain't got no power?
How far do you think your power translates? I mean, you're fighting at 135, right? But like, how high up could it be effective? You ever thought about that? What weight class you could go up to? Not saying like you would take a fight. I'm not saying that, but like, in terms of your ability to thump, how far can it go?
What size gloves?
Let's say 10.
10. Strong cruiserweight.
Wow.
That was Gervonta Tank Davis' thoughts on Shakur Stevenson ahead of him making his lightweight debut. Gervonta said Shakur didn't have power at 126 and 130 pounds, so what makes people think pretty much he's going to have power at lightweight? Better yet, if you don't have no power, how you going to keep me off of you? Eventually, you're going to get hit. That's what Gervonta said. Well, Shakur made his lightweight debut last night against Yoshino, and one thing he did show to Gervonta Davis that he does have power, as he hurt and dropped Yoshino multiple times. And if it wasn't for the referee, who stole the shine and stole the moment from Shakur, Shakur would have ended up with a knockout highlight reel at lightweight. But again, the referee robbed Shakur Stevenson of his moment because he told Yoshino, tighten up your defense, if not, I'm going to stop the fight in the next round. And that's exactly what Yoshino did. He came out with a better defense, blocking some of Shakur Stevenson's punches. Then the referee stopped the fight out of nowhere, robbing Shakur of his moment because eventually he would have ended up with a knockout highlight reel. Nevertheless, a lot of people in my post-fight video of Shakur versus Yoshino said that Shakur only looked great and stopped Yoshino because Yoshino had no defense nor skill. But wait a minute, you guys said Shakur has no power. So it doesn't matter if Yoshino didn't have defense. Yoshino was still a big lightweight, and Shakur was making his lightweight debut. So if Shakur didn't have any power, Yoshino was supposed to walk through his punches. However, the way Yoshino fought, you would have thought he was fighting Mike Tyson or something, the way he respected Shakur power. And that's all I'm saying here. You hear Gervonta consistently say, Devin Haney and Shakur don't have any power. How are they going to keep me off of them? Which, to me, that sounds like Gervonta is repeating exactly what he's hearing in the comment section, regardless if it's true or false, because Kambosos said the same thing about Devin Haney. But then when he fought Devin Haney, he respected Devin Haney's power like he was fighting Sugar Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns. In fact, Devin Haney ended up hurting Kambosos more than Teofimo Lopez did, who was a one-punch knockout artist at lightweight, which shows once again that both Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson have a lot of power despite what people say, because if they didn't, their opposition would have been able to walk them down and walk through their punches. But clearly that's not what's happening. Now, of course, I'm not saying Shakur and Devin Haney has the same power as Gervonta. We all know Gervonta has more power than pretty much everybody, which that's what makes him unique along with his skills. However, what I'm saying is that both Shakur and Devin Haney have power as well. It might not be one-punch knockout power. However, they have enough power to knock out their opposition if they don't respect their power and walk straight in. More importantly, ain't it ironic that the fighters with so-called no power are the most avoided fighters in boxing? We already seen Devin Haney reign at lightweight as the boogeyman, how he had everyone terrified of him. On the other hand, Shakur was also the boogeyman At the lower weight divisions, even at lightweight, we've seen Pitbull Cruz and William Zabata turn down the fights with him. So when people say why he was fighting Yoshino, well, he was fighting Yoshino to stay busy because Pitbull Cruz and Zabata didn't have the cojones to fight him. So he went down the list from Kambosos, so on and so forth, until he got to a fighter that accepted a fight with him, which was Yoshino. So again, why are the pillow-fisted fighters the most avoided fighters in boxing, while the fighters with the most power are the most wanted? For example, Lomachenko, he was dying to fight Gervonta Davis, who had all of the power in the world. Meanwhile, Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney when Devin Haney was 20 years old, the so-called no-power pillow-fisted fighter. Even Gary Russell, look how he was going after Gervonta. As soon as Devin Haney pulled up on him, he went the other way. I mean, Gary Russell was on Gervonta's neck until Devin Haney pulled up. He made Gary Russell disappear like magic. Therefore, the million-dollar question, why all of these fighters are avoiding the so-called pillow-fisted fighter, but at the same time, these fighters are chasing the power puncher? That's a rhetorical question. Something is not adding up. It should be the other way around, right? But it's not, which is my point exactly. Throughout the history of the sport of boxing, fighters did not fear the boxers with the most power, but instead, they feared the fighters with the most skill. That's why Floyd Mayweather always says, skills pay the bills. Nevertheless, when it comes to Devin Haney, Shakur, and Gervonta, these are truly the best fighters in boxing, outside of Crawford, of course. But we all know Crawford is already 35 years old. He only got a few years left. But when it comes to these young bucks, whoever ends up being the one will end up being most likely a top 10 all-time great. Every single one of them is unique in their own way. I mean, if we all being honest, if Gervonta, Shakur, and Devin Haney don't fight each other, but instead they fight the best fighters from other countries, then they will all retire as undefeated fighters who fought the best fighters from other countries, from Mexico to Cuba to the UK to the Ukraine and every part of the globe. That's how talented they are. The only fighters that could beat them are themselves. And I can't wait till they mix it up, because this is the golden era of boxing. The Sugar Ray Hearn Hagler era, the Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Frazier era, and you name it. This right here is up there with them, if not better. After all, the sport of boxing evolves, and these fighters right here, skill for skill, are as good as they come. This is the best of the best. With the facts being laid out, drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, TV. Peace. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.